I'll tell you a story before we start. A story about why I'm doing this. Why I'm doing any of this, honestly. Why Ascend is even a brand. Why we're even worth listening to. There once was a kingdom where two villages sat on either side of a great river. One side of the river painted everything blue, the other side painted everything red. They shouted across the water every single day, kingdom to kingdom, convinced that the other side was the reason that their crops failed, that their children cried, that their backs ached. A traveler arrived to these villages. He did not wear red or blue. He crossed the river and built a small home on a hill where the shouting couldn't reach him. At first, both villages mocked him, called him a weirdo, that he didn't belong. And they noticed something strange. His fields grew stronger. His children laughed louder. His home stood taller. People from both sides climbed the hill to see why. They asked him, "What color did you paint your walls? Red?" He smiled and said, "I planted trees." The lesson is this: don't yell louder than the crowd. We're not going to win this fight giving in to the exact scenario they want. Deep left and deep right, fighting about some imaginary aisles that never really matter. Because in reality, fight is up versus down. It's 99% against 1%. That has nothing to do with your left or rightness. That's all there to mislead you. Don't paint your walls the colors they gave you, because they gave you those colors for a reason. You were born into blue. You were born into red. Blue. Look at my background. Why do you think my background is red and blue? And I'm sitting in the middle of it. Build something that they can't ignore. Let your results be louder than their opinions, and let your peace be the protest to the system itself. They're going to follow you. And in this case, hopefully you guys follow me, not because I argued better or made my points about what the hell is going on here, but because I became undeniable and supported myself with you guys, and you supported me, and we built a system together that made the old system of left and right and Democrat and Republican and shouting and more shouting and loudness back forth across the alley become irrelevant, because we remember what the actual point of being here is. On this 4th of July weekend, why are we all here? Because we're all Americans. We're all in the United States of America. We all got the opportunity to be here. None of that matters. They're all still colors on the same flag. And you guys are making them your whole lives. I'm Caleb Schulke. Welcome to the podcast today. This is Ascend. I'm very happy to have all of you guys here, regardless of your backgrounds, because honestly, I love the perspective. I love being challenged. And I love taking in new feedback. So again, it doesn't matter what you are, because I'm going to change the whole game. None of that's going to matter by the time we're done here, because you're going to realize how silly the political system as a whole is. And honestly, just the point and the distractions that are being here in the first place. First of all, the first thing I want to say today is you guys aren't weak. It feels like we're so powerless nowadays. Like this illusion of power and the way it's been programmed, it's just a lot. But you guys aren't weak. You're made out to be just one little speck of dust, right? In the whole in the whole beach, right? You were trained to be that speck of dust. You were never just that powerless. You guys realize I'm here. Some hundreds of you guys are listening to me right now. I'm clearly not just a speck of dust. And I'm just like you guys. I have nothing. I'm not special. Maybe a little bit special, if you know what I'm talking about. But I have to be thinking like this. But we're diving deep today in something called the digital transition. As much as I'd love to talk politics, right? Because that's all you guys seem to care about. You know, who's wrong, who's right. In reality, everything is gray. Everything, I guess, is purple, right? It's a mixture of blue. There's no such thing as one side being right. And I've studied all the sides. I've voted both sides. I've looked both ways. And I'll tell you that the real answer, I wouldn't even say it's purple. I'd say it's like gray, right? It's not even part of the old system, because you guys are taught to make a decision of what corner of the box is better, when in reality, the point was never to even look in the box. There's something outside that was way better in the first place. You guys are fighting about who gets the most space in this little box, when the person with the even bigger box, the nicer box with the nicer couches, the private jets, is saying, yeah, stay in that little box and fight. It's funny to watch. Does that put it into perspective before we get started? I want to tell you guys how influence has replaced information as the new currency of today. I want to show you how our systems train obedience, so we fear being different nowadays, and how new tools from crypto to personal branding to business to knowledge lets you seize control of that. All of this is urgent. And if I can make one message clear before we start, there is no time. And I don't want to be the guy that fear mongers. I don't want to scare you guys. I don't want to be scared either, but I am scared. This is scary. And honestly, something has to happen. I don't want something really bad to happen to us. And so the only insurance we have is preparing ourselves. All of this is urgent. And if you're waiting, right, if you're still waiting for permission to live free, then you've already lost. And if you think it's the definition you've been taught freedom is, you're also wrong. If you're ready to become unignorable and have a mission that lasts forever, one that's actually true and will make every other struggle in your life finally click when nothing else seemed to work before now, and you finally realize, oh, I could have been doing it right this whole time. I just was never thinking about the process right. Well, welcome to the podcast. Let's talk about the Matrix. I love this term, the Matrix. Everyone's stuck in the Matrix. Escape the Matrix, bro. Make money, stock trade, get into crypto. The Matrix is around us. Well, it's not. It's not what you think. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Right? If you've watched the movie, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Right? We're not in pods. I hope. Maybe I'm really wrong, but I could probably say we're not in pods. Think about how you were taught to behave. Schools and social platforms are not neutral systems of information. They're systems. School is a system, media is a system, and social platforms are definitely a program system that subtly train compliance. Now, compliance has always been taught with a negative light. And again, when your goal is freedom, then yes, I guess compliance tends to have a negative aspect to it. And sure, there's pros and cons. I'm not giving you guys my opinion on that right now. I'm just stating the facts. We're in the fact-stating stage, so just hold your horses. In fact, no pun intended, you see what I did there? A major study notes that public schooling was created, and I've said this before, to reinforce obedience and maintain social order. You guys know about Rockefeller's contributions to the General Education Board, $6 billion in today's money. Not primarily to spark independent thinking. In those classrooms, you learned to sit still. You were diagnosed when you didn't with ADHD, ADD. You were put in special classes when you couldn't conform. You follow schedules. You learn not to speak out of turn. You internalize from a young age what good behavior really looks like. This isn't an accident. Today's Matrix, the Matrix you guys probably have the wrong interpretation of. The Matrix isn't chains or it's not secret police. It's not a movie scene, guys. It's algorithms. It's social pressure. Instead of locking you in a dungeon, powerful platforms and institutions simply need to make it scary to be different. They need to make it scary to be me. They need to make it scary to be, I don't know, I'm just picking a name like Andrew Tate, right? Challenging norms, getting canceled over things, getting accused of things when you try to test the system. Nick Fuentes, right? People like that. In practical terms, influence, not raw information, is the new currency. Our social feeds and news streams are designed by, quote, I would say, centralized gatekeepers from this study on WeForum, centralized gatekeepers who use subtle cues and recommendations to shape what content spreads. So there's literally gatekeepers on platforms that decide what content spreads and which one doesn't. Have you looked at X recently? Have you looked at Truth Social? Studies, it's like The Office, guys. I can say so much without even saying a word. I can give you that side eye and I'd be like, okay. Studies of online media show that people who get trapped in filter bubbles were tailored. Okay. I want to finish this sentence, but I'm already pissed off about it. If you think I'm lying about this sentence, then I don't think you should be here. If you don't think what I'm about to say is real, please leave. Studies of online media show people often get trapped in filter bubbles where tailored news reinforces the narrative. It's a loop. I get slightly down the rabbit hole. Ooh, you like that content. It really questioned his position. You get shown another piece of content. Let's see if we can drive him a little deeper. Eventually, it's just feeding on this new loop of information. Typically, it's very rare to find channels that actually provide good information. So a lot of times you're going to get, brain rot looped back in because brain rot is the only thing that's going viral nowadays. Tung tung sour. And guys, what's the shark with like shoes? What's the shark that wears shoes? The brain rot meme. I can't think of it. Well, there goes my day. There goes my Tuesday. It's all ruined now. I'm already losing it, guys. I'm like 10 minutes in. Hey, let me get a drink. I gotta remember what I was saying now. Oh yeah. Okay, so people get stuck in loops, right? Where you get fed. I don't want to even use political stuff, guys, because it happens on both sides. And honestly, both sides are guilty of this. And again, we need to break the fucking mindset here that if you're left or you're right or you're fucking green or you're purple, then you're right or you're wrong. Both sides are accountable to different parts of history. Both sides have made mistakes. When we push each side both far, we hit extremism, and that's never usually good anyway. Okay, so the right answer is purple in a lot of ways. It's gray. It's probably gray, right? It's probably not even a shade of blue or red like you see behind me. It's probably turquoise. I don't know. It's probably a rhombus. It's not even colors. It's like a shape or it's numbers. We're not even thinking in the right system, right? We're like, which color shirt should I wear? And in reality, you only had one shirt, but you have like 20 different pairs of pants. And you're like, well, why are we looking at shirts right now? Somebody's got to understand what I'm saying, right? I feel like there's intelligent people that listen to my live. You guys just very rarely interact because I think actually the people that are intelligent that watch this, you guys are actually listening to what I'm saying. And so you guys, usually when I get reactions, when you guys like spam the screen and like it, it's usually from people that just it's like the monkey with the symbols, right? Because they don't really understand the depth of what I'm saying. And then when the intelligent people actually do like my live, it's like one time. So I want you guys to just blow up the stream, like show me you guys are listening to what I'm saying here, and then I'll know you guys actually are getting this stuff. I don't want you know, like Toy Story, right? Monkey with the symbols that's kind of what I picture. When I say, hopefully that's not you watching this. I do love you guys. I love all of you. The World Economic Forum warns that pervasive disinformation. All right, we already know the World Economic Forum, who owns it, right? Like they warn, okay, so great assault here, that pervasive disinformation and siloed media ecosystems have eroded public trust, which I do think is pretty true. Only about 40% of people now saying that they consistently trust the news. Did you hear that? 40% of people say they trust the news. The news is the only thing to get news from. You can't like all the systems. They're saying all the systems, 40% of people trust the general news, the mainstream news. Okay, what if they're right? Okay, well then the 60% that don't, where are you getting your information from? Because you should be on my podcast. You should be here right now. You should be the symbol monkey, right? You should be spamming the like button. And you guys aren't. So like, where are you? So that only tells me that the 60% of people who don't trust the news consistently are still listening to the news. So I can only pray, I can only hope that when you turn on BBC, you turn on CNN, you turn on Fox News, you turn on Wall Street Journal, whatever it is, that maybe this muscle, this pink mass of mush, of Bush's baked beans that you call your brain, actually listens. That you actually take the words that the reporter's saying, that's probably the same message as like 5 other stations. We've all seen that video, right? And you actually process it. And you say, okay, well, I understand that this news source has a lean. Do I want to believe in the exact lean of this news source, or do I want to live in a world where I can choose to go into the lean of the news source? When you interpret it at face value, which most of you are just passively, subconsciously interpreting the news, you're just being sucked into whatever lean the news has. All right, so that's the loop we're talking about. Fox News, I would say actually right side. Republicans tend to be a lot worse at this. Fox News is a death spiral. CNN can also be a death spiral. Like I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen on both sides, but I would say Republicans right now are kind of expressing more of like a feed me more type of thing. You know, I don't know. I just seen because Fox News tends to be more brain rotty, I would say, than CNN, but they can both do that. Because I would say those two are like it's like the left and the right, because I have the blue and the red behind me. I would say the left and the right brain rots of media, right? So you kind of have everything else scattered within the middle. But I mean, when you got Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt at a presidential rally, I'm going to just move on. At home and online, millions of pieces of content are constantly fighting for our attention. Media is trying to suck us in. To survive, you must understand this attention economy. The CEOs of big tech aren't just selling ads or news. They're selling your attention in conformity. The CEOs of big tech aren't just selling ads or news. They're selling your attention and your conformity to whatever somebody wants to pay their viewers to listen to. You become dependent on, I don't know, let's say Caleb Times. Like I have a news source, the Caleb Times. And when 1 million people a day only get their news from the Caleb Times, I basically have a cult. I can tell these people exactly what I want. They're going to listen to it. They're going to believe it's the truth. Is they only get their news from me. And I'm literally spoon feeding them a version of reality that I get to choose. So when I can sell that to big tech, when I can sell that for ads to a company that wants to put their message out, then they're going to make a lot of money because I'm telling my little baby birds, I'm spitting the worms out on my news channel. I'm saying, hey, these businesses are the only good businesses. And it's happening too much. That can be a problem in the capitalistic society, but I mean, what's the alternative? Also, so we have to be conscious of the problem. We also have to regulate it, and we have to be aware that we're being influenced. Like when you guys don't know you're being influenced, that's when the danger lies, because you think that you're just choosing everything, right? I'm just choosing this religious view. I'm just choosing this political view. But then you say, okay, well, first of all, what are your parents' views and what do your parents believe religiously? Seems like you also have the same political ideology and you have the same religious view as both of your parents. That seems a little bit of a coincidence to me. I don't know. Hear me out. Just seems right? There's 2 parties and there's I don't know, dozens of religions. So the odds that you have the same political party, or, maybe not even somewhere in between, let's just say the 2 parties, maybe independent too. And then you also have the same religious view as your parents is interesting. Like all 3 of you, right? Or maybe even your siblings too. You're all the same. I'm just saying it kind of begs the question, right? Like, are you being influenced? You're being influenced by your parents, right? Because somebody has to show you what the real world looks like when you're young, because you just can't fend for yourself. I can't go work a job. I can't read research papers. I don't even know how to read when I'm 4. When I'm 4 years old, I think I was like crawling in a bush at 4 years old. I think I like stubbed my toe on a dinosaur toy I had. I think I like almost got hit by a dump truck riding a little electric dirt bike around the road. I'm pretty sure when I was 4 years old, my biggest problems were trying not to die, honestly. Like I wasn't thinking about the, as Jaden Smith would put it, the economic and political state of the world right now, to finish the quote. But that wasn't really my big priority there. So we have to trust our parents, and our parents can sometimes, I'm not saying my parents are wrong. I'm not saying most people's parents are wrong, but I'm just saying that our parents have views. They make up the bigger system of left and right. And the more they get pushed in, the more each generation gets more pushed in, right? Because you start from where, as far as your parents get more and more split among the aisle left and right, you kind of start from wherever their current views are in life, because they'll typically get deeper. And then you just push them typically a little bit deeper if all you know is your parents. And after a few generations, you get to a point like we're at now where we can't even use civil language, in a legislative body chamber. And it's, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh. Start making like caveman noises. Is anybody watching me? I literally can't tell. Am I being watched? Am I being followed? What's up, soldier? I see you in here, man. I just sometimes I feel like I'm losing it, guys. I know they said starting a podcast is hard. It's hard to put your voice out for the first time on a podcast. Thankfully, I had like 2 years of YouTube experience, and I've been viral several times on TikTok before I started any social media. So I know what it's like to embarrass myself online. You guys could actually, I think I bookmarked like all my old TikToks. I made like cringy. I was literally reposted on the at viral memes Instagram account like one time for stupid videos that I made. Like I literally made it big time for being an absolute idiot. And here I am teaching you guys how to view the world and how to make money with AI. Isn't this a crazy place? But I honestly think the only reason I'm not funny as hell, is because I've mastered the ability to take a situation, analyze it from every angle, figure out how to spin it, and how to think about alternate views on it and lenses that can make it funny. Right? Being funny, women, I think, love men who are funny, because being funny shows that you have a high intellectual ability. You can not only analyze the situation and interpret the weight of it, but then you can figure out a way to relate it to something else that changes the lens into humor, right? And I think that it's a great sign. I find yourself a funny partner, and you'll never really go wrong, because that's typically a smart person. And I'm smart as hell, guys. I when I was in 3rd grade or whatever the hell, I think it was like 5th grade, doing the multiplication table, I flipped my paper over so fast, guys, so fast. When it was like the 10 by 10 multiplication grid, it was raps. Nobody stood a chance. I was the king of 9 times 7, 63. So easy, guys. It's a bad day to be a 5th grade kid trying to take me down in the math. Geography, though, that was hard. Spelling bee, I got out on laser in the 2nd round, so I'm not going to butter my biscuit there. But let's get back to the actual live stream. At home and online, millions of pieces of content. Right? There's so much content. I'm just a small grain of sand right now. But in reality, I'm not. Because first of all, I know I'm hot shit. And too many of you guys listen to me for me not to. That might be my ego talking, but that ego is also the same thing that pushes you to a successful position. So you kind of have to have it when you're getting started. Otherwise, I'd be delusional. Nobody's watching this shit. How do I keep doing it? So millions of pieces of content are competing. My live stream's competing right now. So to survive, you have to understand how attention and your brain and behavior works. Psychology is the most important thing. It doesn't have to be like knowing the term, right? You're not matching vocab. You have to know the practice of how people get hooked on things. The CEOs of big tech, they had nothing. They didn't give a shit about code on a computer, right? That was never their focus. They're selling your attention and your conformity. They studied the best ways to capture attention. High dopamine videos, the perfect length for short form. These formulaic ways of positioning content to keep you sucked in. To put I don't know, guys, it's like the Alien vs. Predator movies, the thing that like sucks on your face. And it's like it just grabs on, right? You can't get it off. That's like social media. And they figured out how to make those little things. Hopefully we never see one of those critters in real life. Those things scary. And they reward content that keeps you scared, because I would be scared of those things that suck on your face. In this case, it's my phone a lot of time. My phone actually is literally like I'm looking at it. It's literally pulling my face, my neck down to my hand. So literally, like symbolically, I guess maybe is a better word. It's happening. I'm literally getting my face sucked down to my hand. It's now that I think about it, that's kind of a scary connection. We're obedient, we're distracted, not content that challenges the system, right? Because the system is reinforced when everyone believes that social media is great. It's how we connect. It's how we build legacies. The one person that's crazy enough like me to challenge that and say, well, hang on. What if all the time we spend on social media, what if we could do something more productive with it? This guy's the enemy. Hey, this guy hates the system. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Deport him. Kick him out. What's rewarded today is independent leverage, not obedience. School was never about success. It was about submission. It was getting on your knees and saying, yes, please, please, please. Just let me in. Let me get my face sucked. Please suck my face. You're not competing. You're not competing against humans anymore. That's the thing. You guys think it's left and right. You think it's a political thing. You're like, my midterm vote's going to change everything. Well, in reality, you already gave a lot of these privacy rights to data, to being influenced, to not even to know you're being influenced. What if I was like a deep state op, guys? What if I was here purposely to mislead you? You guys would never know. And honestly, it's like double negative, right? Like I could just say that I can make a joke out of this, but maybe I actually am. And you guys will never know. It's like, well, you don't know who's good, who's bad, who's there to mislead you. And so think about it, right? If you don't even know if I'm good, and I'll tell you I am, but obviously that doesn't carry any weight. Maybe the fact that I'm challenging you to think of if I'm real or not is a sign that I'm good. But you don't know who's misleading you, because half the time it's just like a subtle meme, right? A subtle meme that hints at a norm that's like slightly out of the ordinary. A norm where like somebody's making fun of a certain background and it seems like it's the funny joke, right? It's kind of like bullying, guys. How does bullying start? Well, it starts when someone challenges a typical belief and other people don't really stop it. They don't deny that it's funny, or it might just be funny because it's weird. It might get like kind of an uneasy laugh, but the more it happens, that it just becomes normalized. And so social media might be doing that. It might be normalizing behaviors that you might not even want, but you don't even know you're believing in it, because one day you're going to look up and be like, damn, I'm changed entirely. I don't know if it's for the good or the bad, but here we are. I have to see. Okay. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in my tech bros. I see you guys hopping in on Instagram, on YouTube. We got some viewers here. We're on Rumble, guys. Rumble hates me. Just kidding. I love you, Rumble, but you hate me, it seems like, because I only need 5 people to follow me on Rumble. I just made a Rumble account. It's like YouTube. So if you guys just go to the link in my bio, or you just, where's my Rumble? Yeah, if you just go to rumble.com and look up my name, the same as my username here, and you hit follow, you can be one of my 5 followers. And then I can actually get pushed out. Like, I can have an impact. I just need 5 of y'all to help me. Maybe I just don't do these call to actions enough because I don't want to waste your time, but please just help. Please. I'm on my knees. Suck my face. Suck my face, please. Let's get welcome to the next frontline, guys. Let's get back to this stuff. AI, the automated economy. Everything is just digital nowadays. Your boss might not fire you outright, but what if an algorithm did? AI and algorithms are reshaping every single job description. In 2013, 12 years ago, before we even when AI was like Terminator, right? Like in 2013, AI never even was a concept. Oxford researchers Carl Frey and Michael Osborne, Osborne's also the bad guy in Spider-Man, fun fact, calculated that roughly 47% of US jobs are at risk of automation based on the routine content. So you're telling me 12 years ago, when AI was like the equivalent of like sperm in a nut, essentially. You're telling me that when AI wasn't even concepts of a plan, as certain candidates would say, when AI wasn't even the idea yet. I guess it kind of existed, right? The godfather of AI existed for a long time, but like AI wasn't even like we can't even have, if AI was toast now, we couldn't even have the bread in the toaster yet. We didn't even have the butter out of the fridge. We didn't even have the knife out of the drawer. Is that it? I don't know. I'm spitballing. We weren't even fathoming the idea, and they already said in 2013 that half of US jobs are at risk of automation. Without AI, just based on their routine content, how much it could be automated. Why did we not see this coming? Well, maybe we did. Let's fast forward to today. The World Economic Forum, real quick, reports that 40% of employers plan to cut jobs whenever AI can do the work. Whenever, wherever AI can do work. 40% of employers will say, as soon as that's taking someone's job, you're gone. I really don't give a shit. Pack up your stuff, get out of here. Those aren't my words, guys. It's basically writing a study from weforum.org. By 2027, they project that technology trends, where we're going now, guys, it's 2025, by the way, and we're halfway through it. It's almost 2026. By 2027, so a year-ish out, they project that technology will displace 9 million of you guys as they create 11 million new AI positions. In plain terms, tens of millions of traditional roles, especially entry-level training jobs that you guys are being told go to college, get your degree. You get out, right? You get out of college. Maybe you're even a senior in college and you're starting to look for jobs and you're applying for 80 and you're going through your 6th round of interviews. Well, right now the door was already closing as of 2022, probably when AI was starting to come around. And now the door's it's like it was closing, and then someone's it's one of those slow doors, right? That's kind of like self-closing. And you grab the handle from the inside, trying to pull it shut, but it's still kind of automated, but you're kind of trying to get it closed. It's still closing on its own, right? But you can see the person I want to, when somebody's trying to lock you out of a one-way open door, right? And they're pulling it shut. You're don't lock me out of the gym, bro. I just need to grab my headphones and I'm good. And they're pull the door shut behind you like an asshole. Yeah, that's what employers are doing right now. And you can see them doing it. In plain terms, tens of millions of traditional roles, even entry-level training jobs, are vanishing. Where are they going? Well, Bloomberg even finds that AI could automate over 50% of tasks in fields like market research, which is involved in my career. It's involved in most people's career, or sales, which is also kind of my career. 53 and 67% respectively. If you have any job related to sales, there is a 2/3 chance that you get replaced. Well, managers aren't as affected. I'm going to stay optimistic. Oh, darkness, my old friend. Sorry. We're not that bad. We're not bad yet, guys, but that's why I'm doing this. I need you guys to be aware. I care about you guys. I care about you. I am Uncle Sam, and I want you to join the digital syndicate. Meanwhile, AI filters are already eating traditional career paths. Banking interns, entry-level coders, machine learned platforms, automated. Even America's class of 2025 has noticed. If you're in the class of 2025, nearly half of Gen Z workers feel that AI is already eroding the value of college degrees. Half of the class of 2025 that just graduated felt that AI is eroding the value of their degree. Half of guys, it's I wish I had someone. I wish I wasn't so fucking lonely some days. I wish I had somebody to talk to about this. I had Anthony yesterday, but it's just kind of makes me just sad talking about this stuff because it's nobody listens. Half of people that just graduated feel that AI is eroding the value of their degree. That old promise of get good grades, get a good job, buy your house at 2% interest when now it's 20 is breaking down before our eyes. The upshot is you either become a brand or you become background noise. There's no point competing with thousands of people applying for the same human-run position and with algorithms screening those applications. Instead, power lies in owning the platform or stake, right, in the game. Think of the top entrepreneurs and creators. They don't beg for a role. They create roles or communities around their own name. In this new arena, your skills have to be making yourself and making other people unignorable. When AI is moving in the space at the rate that it is, and it's kicking people out, it's literally just because AI isn't a person, right? There's no emotions. It can literally say, F you, go do your thing. I'm sorry. You can go say, boop, 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 boop. See ya, the door's over there, buddy. I don't care. I'm a robot. Beep, boop, bop, boop. Any survival instinct you have against that is to already have a system. So when it almost inevitably says that, you can say, well, beep, boop, bop, boop, back to you, MF. I got my own business. And so I can't be replaced because I have the ability to think, to be independent, and create my own level of wealth. You guys think this is some foreign concept? You think I'm speaking Korean to you? No, it's literally an easy formula. But we have to talk one more layer deep about this because you guys don't seem to understand the severity of this. If the machines won't replace every job, at least filtering every voice, don't expect direct censorship. Don't expect me to just be taken off TikTok, even though they try to every day, guys, for saying you're more likely to be quietly buried by algorithmic bias. Why do you think so little people see my algorithm? Why do you think you guys literally have to spam the screen to help me promote my live stream? They're just not going to show this stuff. They don't. If you guys want to fight the fight, help creators like me get more screen time on the masses. Make us unignorable. Help us put ourselves in positions that other people have to listen to these messages. They have to work together. And it's not left or right. It's not Democrat, Republican. It's not independent either. It's just a whole different system. We need to come together as people, as human beings, as Americans on this 4th of July, Uncle Sam putting the top hat on to work together, guys. Because otherwise, these messages won't spread. People are going to be stuck getting more and more deeper into their own rabbit holes of false polarity that political parties have wanted them to be in. The whole point of that is to keep us divided because then nobody stands up to the people actually running things around. Social media algorithms have been found to, quote, unnecessarily censor and suppress the reach of photos, quote, featuring women. A Guardian investigation showed that ordinary photos of women at the beach or working out get tagged as more racy than similar images of men. Result is that women's content actually, you think it does well, but it actually gets shadow banned without warning, while comparable men's content sails through. If an algorithm could randomly throttle ordinary women's photos, imagine what it might do to any unspoken voice that it really dislikes. On the video and news side too, things are happening behind the scenes. It's no coincidence that now everyone can technically post new videos. Anybody with a phone and a pulse and at least 3 brain cells, because that's probably the lowest I've seen make videos, can technically post news videos. Yet hardly anyone sees critical news updates unless it fits the narrative of keeping people targeting each other back and forth. It's not even left, it's not even right, it's just news that makes people want to debate each other. Like, I'm not going to go into it right now. An investigation by the Markup found that Instagram and Facebook were heavily demoting posts related to sensitive topics without notifying users. Instagram and Facebook were demoting posts related to sensitive topics without notifying users. Every time we trade convenience or like safety for something, right? It's usually a freedom. It's usually your privacy. It's usually something, right? The pay with your palm thing I'm seeing in airports that scans your palm and it finds your Amazon account and you pay for it. What world is this? Do you want a machine to have your palm reading? Because you want a fucking Kit Kat bar? Like, you gotta be drinking the Kool-Aid, man. I'm not gonna name names, but journalists who reported their stories from the Middle East, where you know what conflict is going on, or the country that's Russia is engaged with right now, are suddenly disappearing from public view. Those stories. They're not banned outright. They're just hidden deep in feeds by obscure flags. In short, they're not gonna outright cancel your account. Freedom of speech is still real. They're just not gonna give you any screen time. You're gonna make sure nobody hears you. That's the new censorship. So whether you feel it or not, the algorithm is listening. Big social networks increasingly expect every user to speak the right algo speak. Bland, inoffensive content, vanilla, grayscale, approved by the invisible code. It's literally 1984. It's literally the giver, right? Mock conviction, biting humor, unapologetic confidence can trigger downrank. Does that not sound like social credit to you? Like literally the more good things you say about what they want, the higher they're going to push your videos. And ironically, algorithmic bias often aligns with the status quo. Analysis of AI systems has repeatedly shown worse performance or harsher penalties for non-mainstream content. In the words of one tech analyst, the minute we let go of trust, media, businesses falls apart. Their models. So today's platforms guard their trusted narratives with the public faith jealously. The trust isn't yours, it's theirs. So what that means, if you think backwards, right? If you have the ability to decode what I'm saying here, is that if I wake you guys up, the more I try to share the actual reality of our world with you guys, the more I try to share how things actually happen and how the systems that you're even watching this video on are working against you, the less it's going to show that stuff. And it's like, well, damn, it's like when you're attacking somebody and like you're trying to find like the right insult, right? I'm not trying to like compare myself to a bully or use a bully analogy, but I'm just saying like if you want to get a reaction out of somebody and if you just say a bunch of things, right? The one thing that like they respond to, that's typically like it hit a little bit deeper, right? So just using that same logic, right? If I'm saying something that about the algorithm and my videos are getting no views because the algorithm is retaliating against me, well, wouldn't you tend to think that the algorithm, I struck a nerve or maybe I said something that was accurate? Otherwise, why would it be responding to me? Why would the algorithm hate me if I had nothing, if I didn't strike any nerves that I said, the algorithm really didn't care and it wasn't what I said it was, then why is it punishing me when I talk negative against it? Do you understand what I'm saying? So in what world do you think censorship is fake? Welcome to the only real live stream on TikTok. The only real live stream on the internet right now, probably. There's a few good ones, but they're very rare because it's literally the people who built the system. Why do you think the biggest tech executives were on at the inauguration? Because they have the most power in the country. The trust isn't yours, it's theirs. And when people decide to go back on TikTok, go back on Instagram, and blindly believe anything that they see, then it's so easy for the system, the mainstream news or whatever they're calling mainstream news, to lead you afar. And then anything else to seem false, fake news. These are the 4 lies that they tell you about success. Men, women, children, uncles, aunts, dogs, cats, listen up. This is a big point I want to make. This is a lesson that I teach in the digital syndicate. These are the biggest 4 lies that you learn in your lifetime about success. If you understand these, you're gonna see pattern here. These are the 4 lies that if you understand these and you hear what I'm saying, will wake you up. They will strike some nerve deep in your pineal gland in your brain. They'll cancel all the fluoride out that you drink and rot in your brain away. And you're gonna start waking up. And you kind of honestly, the funny thing is you probably know most of these, but you just never decided to take action on the fact that you knew that they were wrong. Number one, well, actually, first of all, I want to say by now you see the pattern, right? The old rules aren't holding. I just proved that to you. Our whole system reinforced lies essentially about how to win. So why would you trust the person lying? If you knew somebody was lying to you and they didn't tell you beforehand they were lying to you, why would you trust them? Here are the 4 biggest myths, though. First is get good grades, get a good job, essentially. False. It's just false. It is. I can prove it. AI and automation are rewriting the rules. It might have worked in the past, it just doesn't work now. With nearly half of young Americans already seeing their degrees devalued by tech. I said half. I just told you 49%, I think it's 48%, 49%, I don't know, of 2025, the class that just graduated. Half of people that just graduated said that they think their college degree is now irrelevant because of what AI can do. Because they probably used it so much on their homework and didn't get caught that it made getting the degree irrelevant. Degrees are devalued by tech. So even though you could argue, anything you're going to argue to me right now about get good grades and get a good job is coming from a reality that we no longer live in. It's coming from 10 years ago. When you have statistics from 10 years ago that studying engineering leads to you being an engineer, and AI can't do most of that work now. Your paycheck won't come from a certificate. It'll come from what you do with real influence. So you have to build influence. Your face is the only thing you have left to sell. And it's the only thing that isn't going to change, at least for now. Don't get too much plastic surgery. Don't Kim Kardashian yourself. Just look the way you look and sell your face. By selling your face, right? Obviously, hopefully you guys know I mean sell your message, right? It's not just the way you look. Otherwise, you do become Kim Kardashian. Number 2, be nice means getting love. Men, stop being a fucking nice guy. Order in the court. Guys, we all love Disney, right? The nice guy, the Prince Charming, the one that's fighting dragons. And we all know nice guys finish last. I can confirm this, guys, because again, before I used to teach this stuff, way back in the day, I used to be a dating coach. Being nice does not equal getting love or getting success. Being attractive might get you more success. Being having connections might get you more success. Being nice is not going to do it. Being polite or obedient doesn't guarantee anything when the system rewards boldness. They care more about action takers and people willing to take on risk than they do about somebody who is nice. In fact, the nice people often get more abused. Right? You get abused by relationships. You get asked to do things. You get asked to sit in the chair in the corner, if you know what I mean. Sometimes the truth needs grit. It doesn't need niceness. Kindness does matter. It does. And we need kindness in this world, especially nowadays. It's not the shortcut formula to success that these gatekeepers promised you. Number 3, don't question your authority. Instead, stay safe. I was very much so a victim of this. This is absolutely false. History shows that not questioning is the buildup for when everything goes wrong. The safe crowd obeys and adapts to whatever crisis comes next. But group of people right now is the one conforming, is the one saying, this is what we wanted. We're doing great. Nothing's wrong. The safe crowd obeys. Staying silent actually will cost you more. And also the only opportunity you have to change your life, especially if you only blindly follow the system. In the digital age, silence only makes you more obsolete. And as much as I don't want to brand, as much as you guys don't want to put your face out there, as much as we don't want to close, silence only makes you obsolete. And so when you're told not to question authority and to stay safe and not to challenge the system and put your face out here, I have UCMJ restrictions. It can hold military law against me for speaking out on this stuff. You guys don't understand the severity of what I'm doing. I have to be very careful about the way I speak online. I don't have the same, I have more restrictions than you do. And I'm the one doing this. What does that say about my boldness versus most of you guys that will just scroll on to the next one and just go back to your tung sour memes? Like, do you understand what's going on here? I don't like the fact that I have to do this, but I have to do this because you guys need to listen. It's literally Chicken Little. The sky is falling. And in this case, it's fallen fast. Number 4, and the final of the 4 lies that you believe that you cannot believe if you want to wake the fuck up is follow the rules means get rich. The most important. Absolutely false. The game is rigged so much. It's rigged so much. Look at policy. I can't name the policy. I can't attack the policy. I think we all know what particular piece of policy that's trending right now I might be talking about. The game is rigged so you never climb the ladder. The real winners today are the rule breakers. The 1%ers who built new rules for themselves. They built independent leverage. That might be a big word for Elmo, but it means think Silicon Valley startups that can borrow money and you're using other people's money to make themselves money. Crypto whales, viral content creators. I'm using a system that I never built. I'm using TikTok Live and Instagram Live and Rumble and all this shit to leverage myself on 5 different platforms right now. And then guess what? It's going to get clipped into TikToks, I guess short form, that'll get posted on 5 more platforms. I could take this live stream and post 30 different TikToks from an hour of content in one day. I could post 30 times in one day because I understand how leverage works. And no shit, I'm going to be successful. When other people are still like, oh, do you guys like the lighting here? No, AI did all the work for me because I understood that it's important to invest in these skills. And guess where you guys can do that? I'm not bragging because I also hold the keys and I'm handing them out. They're right in front of you. Please take them. Literally, you click on my bio and that's exactly where you go to do this. What is rewarded today is independent leverage, owning something unique that no algorithm, because I don't honestly trust any of them, or bureaucrat can easily copy or take away from you. Money, connections, opportunities flow to whoever, even you watching this right now, probably on the toilet. Even you can twist the system to your advantage. Twisting isn't a bad thing because when it's in the wrong hands, you're bringing it back to the side of good. And I'm not saying like it's just I'm not saying everything is falling apart. It could very easily well be, but we need to work together. And picking red in the corner, picking blue in this corner, putting on your boxing gloves is not how we fix this. I already said this. Think owning a platform, guys. Own what you own. Why is it so hard to own a house? Why is it so hard to own a car? Why is owning things so hard? Why is renting so easy? Why is renting promoted in the media? Because when you own nothing, everything can be taken from you. A niche skill, an engaged community. When you own leverage and scale something that is genuinely yours, you create freedom. That's the only way now. Not to those who quietly do as they're told. When you just watch and you skip off my live stream, you're not going to make it, guys. I'm sorry. And I seriously care about every single one of you making it. And it sucks because I'm going to watch you guys scroll away to close TikTok, to get bored when your goldfish 8-second attention span. Actually, our attention span is lower than a goldfish is now, scientifically proven. When you guys scroll away because you're feeling that urge right now, because you've been watching for so long, it feels hard to stay here. You give into it. When you fail to survive the human instinct and to become better because you want more brain rot, you give into that. You just go back. And it's like I'm losing you to the tide, right? Your hands reached out, you're drowning, I'm trying to save you. And you guys can't see it yet, but you're going to start finding it very hard to breathe. You're going to wonder why that's happening. Well, it's because you gave up on opportunities that were handed to you. There's this parable, right? About, I think it was in this movie I watched it. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call myself, like, again, I'm not like a diehard religious person, but it's kind of like a religious story, right? Because it uses God. But there's a flood that was going to come to a city. And I'm going to butcher this story, right? But this farmer, right? He said, you know what? I believe in God to carry me. God's going to carry me through this flood. The news says, hey, you need to get out of the town. The flood's coming. He says, I've prayed. I'm good. The media comes in. They start telling people, hey, it's just serious. You got to get out of here. And he says, I trust God. I'm good. The next day, the military comes in, National Guard. They start getting people together. They're putting up barricades. They're like, you got to get out of here. This is going to be so bad. He says, don't worry, I prayed. And the man drowned. He didn't survive. He gets to heaven. He's pissed. He's like, why didn't you save me? You saw all of this. You heard me pray. You didn't send me a single sign. What the heck? What's going on here? And God says, I sent you a sign. I sent you townspeople. I sent you reporters. I sent the military. I sent the National Guard. And you decided to pray to me? That's ignorance. And that's why there's nothing here. It's because you're being sent signs every day. Those of you that believe religiously, and I'm going to use this point, right? Because me personally, none of this has anything to do with religion, but I will just use this for the people that are. Those of you that are religious, listen to what I'm saying. You're asking for a sign. You're praying that like somebody's going to there's some like Hallmark movie type like yellow halo that's going to come down. There's going to be this like floating like CGI animation of like some sort of sign. That's not how it works. The signs are in front of you. You've been given the ability to recognize the signs. The real gift is knowing that you're smart enough to pay attention. And if you fail to pay attention, then you ignored all the signs. And that's really doing your religion, your beliefs, whatever you have wrong. Your intuition, the universe wrong. Signs are in front of you. I am a sign. I genuinely believe right here on this podcast, this is a sign. And if you scroll away, you are missing a sign. And I don't like getting religious, guys, but some of you, that's the only way I can get through to you. It's the only way you'll listen. And if you choose to be ignorant, if you think that doing this, right, if just praying alone is going to help you, praying, maybe let's say praying is the only thing that works in this reality. Praying is going to give you signs, and signs are going to show up in front of you, but you have to interpret those. It's not going to be somebody walking up and saying, this is the sign. Look at it. Do you think that's ever how that's worked? Whether or not it's religion or it's just intuition, it is up to you to have the ability to be smart enough to build yourself, your body and mind and spirit, religious or not, in a way where you can see what is happening in front of you. I find it so ignorant. Then when you say, well, I'm waiting for something very more transparent. I'm going to start levitating in the air and it's going to be a mythical, no. We live in the real world, and the signs are already here. If there's somebody that you're praying to or not, right? The universe, you just have to pay attention, and you're gonna see everything. That's the message of any biblical story, any religious story. Is everything you had was already gifted to you. You just had to learn how to use it, and that is the real miracle, I would say, of anything. And maybe put me in a church, maybe do whatever. I think that was a pretty good point. But what do we guys do now? What's our escape plan? You need a roadmap. You need the Testament, right? The New Testament, maybe. Out of the illusion of power. Because right now, the only choice we have is to make ourselves better. Because when we make ourselves better, we're probably gonna make more money. We're probably gonna have a smarter, more conscious mind to pick up even more signals in the future, like the ones I'm giving you here. So if you're surrounded by people that are doing this, and into real power, you actually create the ability to control your future with the decisions you make today. It seems like that's such a cliche thing, but when you can see that what you're doing actually scales and leverages itself, when the video that I'm filming right now will be clipped, put out by 200 people that I have in my community right now. And that is a sign that, dang, I did listen to the opportunity that I had in front of me. I took action, and I'm the one telling you guys now that this is real. First, you need to build an identity that's you, not a packaged puppet. Forget timing the reposting of safe news. I've taken every risk being. If I tread the line too closely or I step over it, not only do I get canceled, but I seek military UCMJ ramifications. That's real shit. You guys don't understand this. I'm using the platforms I have and the emerging tools because I don't see anyone else doing what I'm doing here. And that's why you guys need to pay attention. Because if I'm getting involved, shit's going wrong. Just share unfiltered thoughts and expertise. Share your stuff, guys. It doesn't matter if you know how to basket weave. That's still productive news. It's better than brain rot. Okay, it's productive to the world. Share that. The goal is to attract people who care about you. And I care. The best way to show that is giving advice out, giving knowledge to show you guys that I care about you. As much as the language I'm using, as much as I'm like, sometimes, right, your best friend, they're not going to like be like, well, honestly, this is how I would handle this. No, I'm going to joke around with you guys. I'm going to blame you guys for not seeing stuff clearly because that's what a friend does. Let's forget the fact that like I'm a professional consultant. I do all that stuff on the side, guys. But right now, we're hanging out. I want to show you guys that you don't need to overthink these things. Let's be realistic. Let's see the world clearly and let's come together. I don't really care what side of the aisle you're on. This has nothing to do with aisles. That's why red and blue is in the background because I was never really looking at that stuff to begin with. It's always behind me. No pun intended. You don't need millions of followers. You just need a dedicated niche to willing to back you guys. Next, you need to monetize that. You need to turn the influence into income. That doesn't mean like slinging ads or just shady products. It means giving your audience real value for real pay. Crypto micropayments are a game changer. By 2025 right now, technology is evolving and enabling people to pay as little as a few cents for articles, videos, and live streams that they find valuable. Imagine fans tipping you directly for your content or insights rather than big tech selling their data for ad revenue. Content platforms and Web3 like decentralized social networks can split payments with no gatekeeper. And as one fintech report notes, dedicated small audiences willing to pay small amounts can provide sustainable support. Guys, you just need 100 people to pay $100. In short, you become the vendor of ideas, not a cog in someone else's machine. Next, we need to create leverage, and then we need to stay sovereign. So learn the AI tools, learn automation. This is not going anywhere. If you don't use your face, you need to use AI. Ideally, you're using a brand and AI because that's the quickest way to win at anything. The real power lies in owning the platforms that you still have access to, even if they're skewed, to control the outputs. Leverage their ability to connect people, you and people with audiences, right? That's where money can exist. Adopt it to, automate the boring parts of your building your brand with scale so you can focus on the human connection that the algorithms can't do yet. And then guard your sovereignty. As governments talk about central bank digital currencies or stricter controls, you want to store a value and means of exchange that they can't confiscate or manipulate. That's where Bitcoin and decentralized crypto come. Bitcoin has been called resistance money, empowering its users to resist authoritarians, inflation, surveillance, and censorship. By holding some Bitcoin, yourself and your self-custodied wallets, you're effectively opting out of the next wave of digital monetary control. It's not about speculation. It's about having a fallback that pays you instead of paying overlords. In practice, guys, joining the digital syndicate, if you click the link in my bio, it means we help each other do all of the above. It's literally a community where we all make money off one subscription. We all sell our services. We all teach each other, and we pay one fee to be involved in this space. It's the best private community you'll ever join. We're building a collective where content becomes commerce. Our members learn how to set up encrypted channels, niche communities, personal branding campaigns, and crypto payment systems, all compliant with regulations, of course, but beyond the reach of monopolistic gatekeepers. We share our strategies, for example, how one stream of income can lead to multiple, how one small value cryptocurrency lets you invest in a creator's vision. to use NFTs and all that stuff. But we want to build an unfiltered brand. We want to allow yourself to be more authentic. We want to give you back the freedom that you were lied to about having existed. We want you guys to stay sovereign, where you get your time back, your money back, and the ability to go and do whatever you want. Everyone else is playing by yesterday's rules. We're building the playbook for tomorrow's action. I'm gonna tell you guys one more story. A man wandered through a village where everyone was sick. Everyone was dying. Everyone could not stay healthy. They drank from the same well every day, arguing about whose bucket was better to scoop out. Some had gold buckets, some had wood buckets, some had their names carved into the side. They fought over who deserved more of the water. They built temples around the wall. They died early, and they blamed each other. The man didn't argue. He walked into the forest. There in the forest, he found a spring. No one owned it. He drank, and he grew strong. Years passed. Villagers noticed his strength, his clarity, the way his children didn't cough like theirs did. One asked, "Which bucket did you use?" "The well is poisoned." I don't argue about buckets. I built a path to better water. The lesson is this: you don't fix a broken system by choosing a side. You don't clean poison by changing the cup it comes in. You find a new source, then you build a path, and you show others how to walk it. I've done those first two, and now I'm showing you guys the final path. Digital syndicate. That's how you win. That's my final call to action. It's quiet, it's complete, it's irreversible, and once you see everything, you can never unsee it. It's a burden, but it is the most beautiful burden you could ever carry, because then it gives you control over everything that happens afterwards. It is my gift to you, and I hope that you appreciate it. If you're not at the table, guys, you're on the menu, and I want you guys to be aware of this fact. Time is running out. Urgency is getting high. If you don't take action, I'm worried for what the future might look like. I am. I want my kids, I want you guys to exist in the world in the future that we get to make, that we actually have a say in. And on this 4th of July coming up weekend, and I pray that we all stay together. We find a way to make it through this as one. I'm Caleb Schulke. Thank you guys for watching this podcast. And as always, I'm rooting for you.